Good evening. Thank you for tuning in to another exciting and meaningful episode of world premiere Word on the Streets. Today's show is titled Living on Empty: How Self-Neglect is Quietly Destroying Our Dreams. We're diving deep into a topic that so many of us are silently battling, pouring into everything and everyone while forgetting to refill ourselves. We'll explore how self-neglect creeps in, how it affects your mind, body, and dreams, and most importantly, how to start pouring back into you. Be sure to check out our free in-depth blog that goes hand in hand with today's episode. You'll find the link in the description below. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready for our show. Greetings, and welcome to the world premiere Word on the Streets. We're live every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Don't miss out. After a week full of noise, confusion, and constant distractions, this is the show that cuts through the clutter. It's the hour of the week where real talk meets real truth. We bring conversations that challenge the status quo and stir something deeper in the soul. This isn't just commentary, it's clarity, purpose, and elevation. When you tune in, you're not just watching, you're waking up. A place where common sense still matters and lives. So ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake, this is the world premiere Word on the Streets. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. And now, ladies and gentlemen, put your hearts and hands together for the man who discovered his purpose and lives it loud, Larry Extraordinaire Moten. And the motivator born to ignite minds and shift atmospheres, the amazing Keith Fletcher. And the man who brings clarity to the chaos with the voice of reason you can't ignore, the one and only Mr. Vincent Craig. Make no mistake, there is no word without our host. Welcome to the movement, welcome to the message, welcome to the world premiere, Word on the Street.
And good evening, everyone. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to our show. Welcome to the world premiere Word on the Streets. I am Extraordinaire. And folks, I know the real reason why you guys are here. It's because of the amazing Keith Fletcher. I know that already. Folks, I know why you're here. It's because of the man with the golden voice. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the amazing Keith Fletcher and the man with the golden voice, Mr. Vincent Craig. My brothers, how y'all doing? So good to see y'all.
Oh, we're doing good. Glad to be here. Glad to have you. How y'all doing?
I'm
Good.
fine, man. I'm doing well, man.
Yes, good to see all of y'all faces, man. Let me just share with our community the road we've been traveling on before we start chopping it up. But anyway, friends, before we even get in the car and start driving, we like to welcome you to our community. If this is your first time tuning in, don't be a stranger. This is the world premiere Word on the Streets. We're here every Thursday at 7:30 Central Standard Time. So if you haven't been riding with us, let me give you a quick overview to help you get caught up where we've been, where we are and where we are going. Not very long ago, friends, we talked about being unstuck. Talked about procrastination. How do we move? How we get out of that funk? And we went from procrastination and we drove on into trying to get untangled in our thoughts, in our mind. And we left there. And just last Thursday, we talked about making it in America. What does it take to make it in America? And so tonight we're dealing with the fact, in order to make it in America, are we sacrificing something within ourselves, and are we getting burned out from trying to make it in America? Living on empty. How self-neglect is quietly destroying our dreams. We're going to chop all of that up, and we'd like to welcome you one more time for being here. And to all the folks who are already in our chat room, thank y'all very much. So, my brother Vincent, why don't you just start us off, man, and we'll just we'll ride this pony off your horse, man. So, when we say neglect, do you feel or do you think that prioritizing yourself is, do you feel like that's selfish when people start prioritizing themselves? Is that, are you, am I wrong to put myself first, prioritize myself?
Before I answer that, let me make sure when I'm on the screen, are you able to, am I coming off as kind of like choppy? Because I don't know if my background is making me appear
Here's
as like,
what I, okay, here's what I just noticed since you mentioned that you was frozen for a moment before your mouth started moving with the frame.
okay. So let me do this before I get into that. Off my background.
Right. That was one of my concerns. Folks,
Yeah,
y'all, this is live. You
yeah.
know, you gotta love live, friends.
All
So
right,
that was my concern during the virtual background.
gotcha.
It's a beautiful thing. It's beautiful when it works. Y'all
Yeah,
know how that goes. Everything is great when it's working. But go ahead on, my brother.
yeah. All right. So now that we got that out of the way, I'm just kind of, I didn't want it to appear choppy and anything and take away from the show. But for me, I don't think there's anything wrong with taking care of yourself, prioritizing yourself. I think for me, I can attest, and Keith can attest to this as he's watched me over the years. Uh, I kind of lost, I don't want to say I lost myself, but as a single dad with two young men, my priority was my sons, right? It wasn't about me at the time. Coaching both boys in multiple sports, going from one practice, going straight to the next. I forgot about myself, right? Like everything just really became about the kids. Nothing wrong with that, but I didn't balance it out quite the way that I probably. There's some things that I could have done better, right? But again, I think part of that was I was making up for the lack, and I think we do that at times because when you don't have a father present in your life, you try to accommodate for what you didn't have, right? So you try to make up, right? So I think I wanted to make sure I did everything in my best interest to make sure that my boys got me, right? There are jobs that I turned down uh, in corporate America, being a supervisor and things of that nature in the accounting field. I took lesser jobs because I wanted to make sure I was there for my sons, right? Because I figured I would get paid in another form, right? It wasn't just about a financial gain for me. It was like my kids are only going to be kids once, right? So in answering that question, I don't think there's anything with prioritizing yourself because now, and even when I, probably about 7 or 8 years ago, I told my sons, I said, you guys are going to see less of me. I said, because I'm really going to start living, right? Because I don't feel like I was living like the life that I really could have been because the focus was just on them. And again, there's nothing wrong with focusing on your kids, but sometimes we forget who we are. And then when the kids grow up, that's when the adjustment, like there's a shock to us of, oh, now what do I do? It was always about the kids, about the kids. I've seen so many marriages. Once the kids get out of high school, they separate, they get a divorce, right? Because the priority was the kids, but they didn't focus and put time in for their marriage, right? So for me, I don't think there's anything wrong with prioritizing yourself. It's just you have to recognize it and have the right people in your circle to make sure and ask those tough questions. I don't think we have enough friends that like me and Keith, right? Like we ask each other the tough questions, like, and we don't always agree, right? And there have been times, when Keith and I, come to head and stuff, and but we able to squash that and just kind of recognize it's like, look, I would rather have a friend that would tell me the truth than just pacify me. So hope that answers that question.
I have a follow-up question on that. Before I do, Mark says in the chat room, you need to live by the value you set for yourself. Now, my
Like,
follow-up question is this, Vincent. If
mhm.
you had to do it over again, all over again, would you do it differently than you did?
That's a great question. There were some things that I would do differently as far yes and no, right? Because again, there are sacrifices that I made from a parenting standpoint for my sons, right? We as parents, we make those sacrifices for our kids, right? Our kids are only going to be kids once. Uh, I would take more vacations. I would make it less about sports. Make sure they're well rounded. We're well rounded. Uh, I don't 30%. I would. So there are some things I would have changed, but the 70 is probably no. I wouldn't because it's the 70 that got my kids to see what I was able to do as a man without having a dad, right? So the lesser percentage would want to change, but the higher percentage would want to stay the same because I think I taught my kids some great values.
What say you, Fletcher?
Well, but me knowing Vince, yeah, it wasn't that much he would change. I think me seeing him do it, he enjoyed it. He enjoyed being around his kid. He enjoyed being his kids, setting the standard with his kids. I talk about my kids, and I learned some stuff from Vince. I learned some things how to be a father, how to make the tough choices and stuff, things that I was like I would ignore, and he made me see like, nah, man, that's important. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of things, especially not having a father, I think he did a great job. Me and my kids talk about stuff that we did, and like I said, we had debates about something, and I'm like, hey, man, you have one word. It was just you. You know what I'm saying? But that one word made a difference when you don't have to question yourself or somebody doubting you. So I think he did a great job. You know what I'm saying? We ain't perfect. Nobody's perfect, but I would give him 80-20 instead of 70-30. I think
I
he did
appreciate
he
that.
on that, man, because to do that and then influence other people, man, other people, kids, and be in the community like he was, and keep his character and all this intact. So no, man, I think he did a great job. I'm not saying it just because he's here. Did I agree with everything he did? No, but if I had to, I wouldn't bet against it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give an example. One time my kids were gonna go to a party, and wanted his son to go. My son was going. I didn't know the whole out of it. My wife told me about it, and I'm like, okay, yeah. I said, well, ask can Mr. Vince can he go, Dad? Vince, listen to you. So I called V. I said, V, man, they're gonna have a party, and it's gonna be at this. And so Vince started asking the questions. Well, it's gonna be this, and who gonna be there, and I'm sitting up like, wait a minute. I'm sure. No, Keith, I need to know. If something go, can you clarify? Are you gonna take that? It's all in your hands. I said, nah, wait a minute. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm
Yeah.
go back and look and see what really is the. And I started asking questions, and unfortunately, he was right. I was wrong. You know what I'm saying?
I totally forgot about that.
In fact, my son didn't go to that party that night because of him. So I didn't ask the detailed questions that he asked. So I'm trusting what my wife was saying. But yeah, but anyway, I started off young with my kids. So, and I got a second marriage. Man, my first marriage, I was giving to everybody. My cup was so empty, and I was still trying to pour into other people. And the one thing I say now, no, you can't fill no cup up if your cup is empty. You can't if it had full.
Yeah.
I say all the time, my cup is supposed to overflow into people. You know what I'm saying? So we got to fill our cup, and then it flows into them. So like the guy Mark said, man, you got to have to know where you're going. You got to have a vision. You got to have a vision of what you want to do in your life. And that's once you know where you want to go, everything else go off of that. You can change here and there, But you got to know where you're going. You got to have a plan. And that dictates everything. You know what I'm saying? You have to have a plan and a goal set, especially for you. And then you got to have one for you and your wife. Then you got to have one for you, your wife. You get with your wife. You got to have something for your kids, your finances. Everything is a plan and sitting there, and it goes off of that. You know what I'm saying? I think it's like a business. You know, so my goals and all that come off my time. But I said all the time. I done train people. I tell everybody, everyone deserves 2 hours to themselves. Me and Extraordinaire talked about this. It ain't no action. You got to demand it. You got to take it. You know what I'm saying? Now, me, I'm going to do what I got to do. I get up early in the morning to get my time. You know what I'm saying? But to get your 2 hours, you need to find a way to get 2 hours to yourself to do whatever you want to do, your dreams, your aspiration, just to be meditating, whatever, spend time with the Most High. But those 2 hours, you should have, and you got to, I'm telling you, you got to demand it. You know, like when I come in the morning, I get up at 3:45 in the morning. I come downstairs. Nobody can be downstairs. Nobody better not wash no dishes. You know, look at, hey, everything stop. This is my time. Go back up. Don't come back down. I deserve that. And I go do what I want to do. I go for 2 hours. I come back. My wife know that. And once, you know, when you start, everybody they're gonna fight. You got to fight for it. But I feel that, and that's that time to fill your cup up. Whatever dream you have, whatever time you meditate, talk to the Most High, whatever it is, you deserve it. Hey, I tell it when I'm training people, if you got your 2 hours, but a kid, hey, they won't eat today. All that food up in that refrigerator, everybody eats a bowl of cereal or something. But I'm gone on my 2 hours. So that's what I say. Yeah, you can't feel nothing. You got to fill your cup up, and it should overflow into everyone.
Yeah. And I like what you said, Keith, about that, because like me and you used to be up at the gym at like 4 or 5 in the morning, right? The thing that I would do, I would rather give up 2 hours of my sleep than 2 hours of my family time that I won't get back. Because, and again, this is not a slap of anyone that currently does this or that has done this. I've seen people that go work a full day, and then they go straight to the gym, and then they get home by 7 or 8 o'clock, and then they just have about an hour of FaceTime with their wife or either with their children. I didn't want that to be me. So in answering that question about prioritizing myself, I put priority on my kids, but I also put priority on my health, because I'm like, look, if I still want to be healthy, then I got to make a sacrifice. I sacrificed 2 hours of my sleep so I can get what I felt like I needed, which was my workout time for an hour, right, in the morning. This way I won't have to worry about, and I got it out of the way. Truth be told, for all y'all that really want to know, if you work out in the morning, you already starting your day like the best that it can go, because your energy like really helps. So it is another prioritization of yourself. So, but again, this isn't a slap against the people that do it, and everyone has to manage their time, right? And it's the prioritization of your time. So
let's talk a little bit about setting boundaries. Keith touched on it, but now we're going to bring real people in on this circle. So I want you all to imagine the listening audience, of course, these two dynamic gentlemen here. We're living in the real world, and some people you can say no to, and some people, let's be honest, some people don't take no. Some companies, some managers, there's some personality. I categorize some people are just a strong will personality person. It's very challenging to tell a strong will personality person no. How do you do that, Vincent, Craig?
give me 1 second. I'm writing something down because I didn't want to interrupt. If I can go back before I answer that question about the prioritization, sometimes it's hard to give what you don't have. I didn't have and this isn't a knock against my mom, right? I didn't have that example of prioritization for yourself, right? So sometimes it's hard for people to put prioritization on yourself when you didn't necessarily see that, right? You have to be exposed to that at times, or either learn how to put prioritization on yourself, right? So To answer your question, what was? Can you go back, because again, I was writing down
Right.
extraordinary.
How
Can
do
you
you
ask that
say
again?
no? How do you say no to a strong will person who
Uh,
asking for your time, who's asking of something of you?
I know me. I've exercised the art of saying no, right? And I think that comes with parenting. You say no, 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 no. A lot of the times, our home is the practice field for the everyday life and what we will be facing.
Wait, hold on. So your child help you to practice saying no.
Yeah, it's the
Okay,
art of
go right
saying
ahead.
no. Like you really, like, a lot of people laugh, but a lot of stuff we manifest and we set we our practice field in our first kingdom business is our house, right? So when you start being able to say no at home, you kind of get a little bit more practice, right? You just have to understand and you have to be aware of your audience, right? You have to know your audience, right? Each person is different. So when people come up to me and ask me for my time, my wife will tell you right now, if she wants me to train her and she gets frustrated, I say, okay, give me 2 or 3 weeks where I see you working out on your own. When I see you working out on your own, because my time is important, right? Well, would you treat everyone? Yeah, I would. Well, you're supposed to treat me different because I'm your wife. Yeah, and no. Well, don't you treat each person that you train differently? Again, this is the plan. So the art of saying no, you have to, like you said, set those boundaries of understanding, like, hey, my time is important, my time is valuable, right? So it's you communicate that first. Don't leave it to chance by people just guessing just because you make yourself available. Sometimes what I've learned, guys, sometimes we're worth more when we're less available because people appreciate us more.
Oh, that's well said. I like that. Say that one more time, man. I like that.
Sometimes our value is worth more when we're less available because people appreciate our time when they can get it.
Hey, Keith Fletcher. Keith Fletcher. Keith Fletcher. How do you say no to Keith Fletcher? You a
Well,
strong, hey folks. Keith been a strong-willed person since he been a baby.
Sure.
When Keith was a baby, he would shake the baby bed until, damn it, y'all hear me shaking this bed. Something got to happen. He's been strong-willed from day one. So how do you say no to that person, a strong-willed Keith Fletcher?
well, like Vincent, you learn it at home, you know what I'm saying? But like you say, you got to know the person, you got to know what you're dealing with. My no at home, people that know me, when I say no, if my mind made up, that's no. Don't, and I'm gonna say it forcefully. My look, my whole body, my whole attitude, I mean no. You know what I'm saying? So that's me. But I'm gonna say when I was working at my company, I working at this home builder. I'm got $1 million homes. These people CEOs. You got a certain way you got to say no. I had to learn that real fast. So I had my manager had I talked to a customer and they called me Mr. No at my job because I would say no so easily. You know what I'm saying? Forcefully. I said no. You still on that? I already told you no. You know what I'm saying? Let's go on to the next one. So I told this one person no. Then I even wrote an email. And my manager, he called me and said, "Hey man, I got an email that you are customer complaint. Did you send an email?" I said, "Yeah, I sent the email to him." He said, "Well, send me the email and show me the email you sent." So he received the email. He said, "Man," he said, "Did you read this email you sent?" I said, "Yeah, what's wrong with it?" He said, "Oh no, man. Oh no." He said, "Man, from now going on, before you email somebody, you email me first. Let me read it, and then I was to let it." He
It
said,
was
"Man,
that bad, Fletcher.
it was bad. It was bad." So the point is, he wrote an email. He said, "Let me write the email and show you what I'm talking about." I really had no idea what he was talking about. And he wrote the email, and I read the email. Like you say, it's a way to say no. I'm serious. In the email I'm reading it, he was talking to the customer. like he picked the customer up on a pillow, and he was talking to it, rocking it. And he was going over the thing, and while he was rocking, he was bringing it down. And when he finally got to the point to say no, he laid on the pillow, like he was sitting on a lullaby to her. And then he said, you know we can't do that. And this is the reason why. And it's like the customer said, okay, thank you. And that was it. And I was like blown away in an email. It was in the email. And I was like, wow. So it's an art to say no. It's a way to say no to a people. So I had to learn that. But what Vince was saying about prioritizing, about telling a person no, like I train people. Like I said, being valuable. Like when I tell people I don't train, I'm not a trainer for everybody. Everybody can't handle me. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, I got commitment issues. You know what I'm saying? When I tell you to be somewhere, I'm a control freak, as they say. When I tell you to do something, you do it. When I want you to do it, how I want you to do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's me. Everybody can't handle that. So when I tell people, I give them three. I'm gonna give you 3 lessons, three experiences with me. And they were like, well, I don't need 3. I see the 3 is not for you, it's for me. You know what I'm saying? It's for me to see if I want to deal with you. You know what I'm saying? It's for me to critique what you gonna do and ain't gonna do. It's not for you. You know what I'm saying? So that's like you said. So when I tell everybody, like, you're a trainer, no, I'm trained, but I don't train everybody because I'm not for everybody. Because you know what I'm saying? That conversation that my wife tell me, she don't know how can somebody pay me for how I am, the way I talk, the way I say I don't know how these people deal with you. You know what I'm saying? They paying you to talk to them like that. So, but look at the results. Like Vince, so let me say about Vince. Like you said, his time. Now me and Vince know each other very well. We go in the gym frequently. I would walk in that gym and we would see each other. Vince won't even look at you. That's his time. He in there doing his stuff. I used to go there, man, did you see me? Yeah, I saw you. But he working out. He like, he wouldn't say nothing to you because he had his own, he in his time. I used to laugh. I like, boy, he's serious about that. But that was his way of saying, hey, man, this is my time. I got things to do. I ain't got time to play around and talk. And he do that. If he do dap you up, leave it. He might not even tell you about it. He say, but sometimes you want to know he in there. But that was his time, and I had to learn that too, man. Because like I said, when you in that time, you on that crunch, you got them kids and all that. And like you say, when you get, I'm just using the gym, because you get in the gym. Some people don't. Everybody don't come to the gym to work out. People come to the gym to socialize. Mm-hmm. They ain't coming there. They come to just steal your joy. So they got stuff on their mind. They want to come talk to you about it and pour it all on you. And that's you try to protect yourself. You got to say, hey, man. Nah, man, I got to go. I'm not. Me, my thing was, like you said, they knew not to come up to me because I'm looking crazy. And I ain't with it. And I'm in that mode. I'm looking out because I ain't got time. My time is valuable. So saying no to someone, it ain't just standing by your mouth. It's the way you look, the way you write. You know what I'm saying? Different ways. It's an art. It is an art to say no, especially with your wife, too, man. It's the children. It's an art, man. And unit with home is different, but going on the outside is also different too. So it's an art.
Hey, and it's funny. Thanks for saying that, Keith. I remember you saying whenever you see Luke in the gym, Luke was just like me. Like he would say that to you. Like he would be in the same gym, know you, go to your house, dang there every day. But when he's in that gym, he's prioritizing. He's laser focused on that workout.
The same thing. And I say, boy, you just like your daddy, man. You ain't gonna say what up or nothing. But that's focus. That's claiming your time. That's claiming your time.
Yeah.
Now, here's the importance of this conversation, Word on the Street community. There are always people and things out there to distract you. And all 3 of us, and including you who are listening, it is so easy to fall into the trap of being distracted. It really is. And as Vincent and Fletcher both said, you really have to practice, get in the habit of saying no. Be artful about it. But self-care is more than just taking a bubble bath. Self-care is also being strong enough on the inside to be able to say no to someone outside of you. You know, and a lot of time, you know, the world we're living in, you get kudos for burning yourself out.
Hmm.
So and so went the extra mile. Let's give them a round of applause. Okay, you went the extra mile, but you still have those obligations waiting for you back home. You still have the to-do list. You still have you. And like ET often say, Fletcher, you owe you.
Mm.
Why you owing you? The world, the establishment is applauding you on for going the extra mile for them. It gets real dicey and a slippery slope, friends, when you start talking about prioritizing yourself, which is why 30 to 35% of people find themselves having a breakdown, find themselves having early strokes because they're burnt out. They're not pulling back, self care. They're not practicing to say no. They just saying yes, yes. Okay, let me see. Or hey, if you give someone if you feel like you have to give someone a long explanation, they got you.
Mhm.
Sometimes your no have to be short and crispy. I can't do it today. And stand on that. You don't have to drive down the street and give them 15 reasons why you can't do it today. Am I making sense to any of my brothers?
Now
Yes,
you
sir.
are. I like how you said when you say your no. It says off in the Bible, "Let your yes be your yes and your no be your no." Right.
Don't be,
So I've
don't be,
really, and again, I kind of practice that at home. Right. Like my kid, he used to ask my kids to ask me something, and then they come back and ask me 5 minutes later. What makes you think I'm going to change my mind? My no is my no. Right.
But not only that, Vincent, they'll ask you a different kind of way.
Yes. And I was. It's just so the one thing that I really have to, if we can go back in exercising the art of saying no, one of my CEOs, one of my CFOs told me, he said, sometimes we get in the accounting world, we get so there's little gray area in the accounting world, right? 2 plus 2 is 4. Like it's not going to be almost 4. It's not going to be like after 4. Like 2 plus 2 is 4, right? Sometimes we get so hell bent on saying no, but in the corporate world, sometimes we have to have partnerships with other departments, right? So one thing that he did teach me, and I really appreciate this, is he said, let's not always say no, but let's just say, hey, I'm not saying no, but this is what I can do. Right. So it's like a soft no, but it's like a let's have like a middle ground, right? So there is a time to say no, but then there is a time to somewhat compromise, right? And I always have to be understanding what you compromise to get. What you compromise to get, you have to compromise to keep, right? So you got to be very cautious about when we're using the art of saying no. Again, like Keith and I were saying earlier, and all of us, it really depends on the audience and the nature of what's being asked and your audience that you're talking to, right? Again, corporate America, we're trying to build relationships. Everything can't just be a no. Sometimes you have to explain it and just change the word, like you said, extraordinary. Like the kids are coming back, they're asking a different way, right? So sometimes we have to camouflage it and we're really saying no, but we're really trying to let the person down easy, right?
Right.
Another thing, when we talk about self care, there are individuals that take self care a little bit too excessive, right? To where they forget their priorities, right? Like everyone that's a parent is not meant to be a parent, right? There are some people that are a parent because they got stuck with being a parent because they had a kid, right? And then there are some that really enjoy parenting or trying to figure parenting out, right? There's no code on parenting, right? We all get it wrong. There is no perfection on it, right? We're just trying to get better at it. But again, with that saying no, it's just sometimes you have to just be aware of your audience and how you say no.
Now, La Diana says this in the chat room. And it's so disrespectful when a person has the nerve to want an explanation like your answer is a problem. Shaking my head. Yeah, we talked about that, and it's so true. Some people just, not to relitigate what we've talked about, but some people just have a hard time accepting no. But still, you have to let your no be no if you know why you saying no and why you can't comply with their
Exactly.
request. Go ahead on,
Exactly.
Fletcher.
that part of you saying self-care too, you know what I'm saying? Some people, and I tell my kids all the time, is managers and is leaders, you know what I'm saying? Some people just managing and some people are leaders, you know what I'm saying? People that's managing just gonna do whatever it takes, follow the numbers, you know what I'm saying? This is what they told me to do, this how, you know what I'm saying? But it's gonna be them leaders that's gonna say no, you know, they're gonna look in the detail. Like I had leaders and supervisors, VPs. I remember this one lady named Vicky. I remember she called me one time, and this is most money I was making. And she called me in the office, and she said, "Well, Keith, yeah, you're doing a good job." He said, "But what time do you come in the morning?" You know, I'm thinking I'm saying some big dog. I come in at 6 o'clock in the morning. She looked at me. She said, "Well, what time do you leave?" Sometimes 7 or 8. She said, "Listen to me. Your shift start at 8 o'clock and end at 5 o'clock." She said, and it take you 30 minutes. So really you don't start till 8:30 and you leave early at 4:30 to get everything done, to do your paper stuff. She said, we don't need you to be working out. That's not no work, that's not no balance. You're not here to work like that. You're not working like that. You're not getting you working like that, but what are you getting done? The work is still gonna be there when you come back. You got enough work, but you're gonna work yourself out of the position. You know what I'm saying? We don't want you like that. You know what I'm saying? And that was good for me to understand because I'm a worker. I'm not that person that, you know what I'm saying, I don't quit. But sometimes, like you said, somebody got to tell you, pull you to the side and say, you're doing too much. You know what I'm saying? That's it. And some people, like Vincent said, some people just don't want to work, they got excuses. But me, sometimes you got to have that leader. Like my other job before, I was that person that I wasn't taking no lunch. You know what I'm saying? I'm moving, I'm trying to get things done. And you have to have somebody say, hey, hold on. You got to take care of yourself. You got to stop. You know what I'm saying? You got to get some time to yourself because you think you're 100%, but you're not. You know what I'm saying? So you think so when you're saying sometimes you got to know when not to say no. You got to know how to listen. You know what I'm saying? So that can be self care too. Because I'm a worker hard. I'm gonna go 100 miles an hour, and somebody might need to tell you, hey man, I appreciate your work, but now man, we want to keep you. You know what I'm saying? We want to keep you sane. We got enough work, so we're not going to do it like that. So I wanted to say that about that self-care. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying, we can go overboard also. And having the right leader there to guide you, mentor.
And I think and I'm glad you said that, Keith. Sorry, extraordinary. Hence, the term is what they started coming up in like corporate America, work-life balance.
Yeah.
Right now,
Yes.
you hear that whole lot of work-life balance, work-life balance, work-life balance. Make sure you're taking, which is why stay regulated for after you work a certain number of hours, you're required to take a 15 to 30-minute break, right?
Yeah.
And like extraordinary said earlier, burnout. There is a true burnout factor when people are just so. One thing I tell my family and I tell my people that I've also managed, a burnout me is not good for the people that I'm close to, right? Because they're going to get the blunt of it. It's going to show on your work. It's going to
Like
show
that
at
if you know
home.
about it. Yeah.
It's going to be reflective of anyone that's close to you or anyone that you do life with you. But you start hearing the term work-life balance a lot more because these corporate companies are starting to understand, hey, a healthy employee, a refreshed employee is a happy employee. They're going to produce more, they're going to do more. So they're starting to sometimes I'll give it to you like this. What do they do when a football player gets a concussion? They take his helmet away. This way you can't go back in the game. We're our own worst enemy, and sometimes other people have to tell us no for us because we'll go and try to put ourselves right back in the game, burn out, concussed, or whatever. So,
Mark says in the chat room, adaptability to change in corporate America is very important. And employees and employers with employees who are willing to try their best. No more is perfect.
But again, that's the same. Like, I know we talk about the corporate world, but the same thing at home too. Like you're saying, if they give you them time at the corporate world, you got to find that time at home too. You know what I'm saying? You got to find that time. You know, you got the wife, you got the kids, they got all their stuff. They got their sports, they got their recitals. They got all these things. They got you, so you still got to find some time to refill your cup up. You know what I'm saying? Energize yourself to deal with the day and day. So that would mean, like me and Vince, like you said, I'm gonna get up in the morning. That morning, if the gym is my thing. You know, other people have other things. Some people like to sing, some people like to walk, some people like to listen to music, but the gym was my thing. I don't care if at lunchtime I'm going. I go to the gym. If I miss the morning, I'm gonna go in the gym, give me a good rep, give me a good feel, eat my food right. That was what I needed for me. So that carried me through. So other things for other people, but you got to find a way. I just want to tell this story. You know, I got a story. I had a partner I used to work out with, and like we're talking about, you got to demand your time. Every time we would go work out, he would come to the gym. He would be late. He would be late every time, and I would ask him, man, I got 2 hours. My kids in daycare. Why you? Well, you know, the wife always, when I'm leaving, I said, well, so finally I told her, say, you come in the next day. I said, what? Why you late this? Well, I had to change the light bulb, and I went off. Change the light bulb, right? And I went off. I said, man, do you understand what she doing to you? Every time I say, man, I say, hey, you do it again, bro. I'm telling you, I'm not working out with you no more. My time is valuable. You know, I'm going off. So he come to the gym the next day. He said, he come in, I'm looking at his face. I said, what's wrong with you, man? He's like, you know what, Keith, she did do that again. The time I got to the door, he said, God, I'm not doing it. Every damn time I come, he realized, you know what I'm saying? And he said, oh, wow, I'm so sorry. You ain't got to get like that. Then you have a good workout. but he did it unconscious. I don't know if she didn't know she was doing it, but you got, like I say, you got to fight for your time, man. You got to find a way for it and demand it, man, because they're not going to give it to you either. The kids not, the wife not, life just not going to give it to you. So you got to take it, man, sometimes and get your time for yourself.
That's right. And on that point, folks, friends, we're going to take a short commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We're going to try to keep this train rolling. But if you enjoy what you are hearing, please hit like and subscribe to our channel. We'll be back in a few moments. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome to the Digital Mall, your one-stop destination for elevated living, inspiration, and everyday joy. Step into a world where every click brings clarity, comfort, and creativity. Grab your moment of peace at the Brew Nook, then dream bigger in the Wonder Nook. Reclaim your calm at the Everyday Bliss Shop and explore balance and wellness at Know Your Why Wellness. Need to refresh your style? Lux's Vibe and the Flogo Style Shop bring bold, beautiful energy to your everyday look. Glow up with confidence at Gloss It Up and create the life you love with Elevate Your Lifestyle. And don't miss our all-new digital calendar, your 14-month guide to focus, purpose, and alignment from November 2025 to December 2026. This isn't just a mall, it's a mindset. Visit us now at Digital Mall Online. Experience the art of intentional living. Our special link is in the description below.
All right, family. Now it's time to go deeper. This is the moment where we peel back the layers, challenge old thinking, and get real about what's truly holding us back and what can finally push us forward. So grab your journals, lean in, and don't just listen, engage. And if something resonates with you tonight, do us a favor, subscribe, like, and share this message with someone who needs it, because the conversation we're having is bigger than us. This is the world premiere word on the streets.
Have you ever stopped to think about where your energy is really going? It's easy to get caught up in the daily grind, waking up, running through the motions, reacting to whatever comes your way. But the truth is, every day you're pouring out a precious resource, your energy. And for what? Too often we give it away without even realizing it. We give it to people, to situations, to problems that aren't ours to solve. We invest in things that drain us, and in return we feel exhausted, empty, and disconnected from what truly matters. The worst part, we don't even know we're doing it. It's as if we're constantly running a race, but we're not moving forward. We're stuck, standing still, pouring all our fuel into someone else's tank, and wondering why we're running on empty. You wake up feeling like you should be doing more, but you're too tired to even think clearly. The motivation isn't there. The drive has faded. It's not because you're not capable. It's because you're giving away your energy for free. And you don't even realize the cost. The truth is, the more you give, the less you have left for yourself. What happens when you stop giving away your energy for free? What if you started protecting your own power and only gave it to things, people, and causes that truly deserved it? Imagine how different your life could look if you stopped draining yourself for the approval of others, for the demands of situations that don't align with who you are. Imagine having the energy to focus on your goals, your dreams, and your well-being. Imagine waking up feeling excited, not overwhelmed, because you've finally started to protect what's yours. What if I told you that's all within your reach right now? Here's the thing. You wake up every morning with a set amount of energy, a finite supply. It's yours to manage. The problem is we don't always treat it like it's precious. We're quick to give it away to the people who demand it most, to the distractions that pull us in every direction, to the negativity that drains us. By the time we're done with our day, there's nothing left for ourselves, and that's exactly why we feel stuck. It's not that life is too hard, it's that we're exhausted from constantly pouring ourselves into places that don't serve us. When was the last time you checked in with your really checked in? Not just going through the motions or dealing with life as it comes, but asking yourself, am I protecting my energy? Most people don't ask themselves that question because it's uncomfortable. It forces you to acknowledge how much of yourself you're giving away without getting anything in return. But here's the hard truth. You are your most important asset. Without your energy, you have nothing. Without your focus, your drive, your passion, you cannot move forward. You cannot grow. When you stop giving away your energy for free, you give yourself the opportunity to focus on what matters. Yourself, your growth, your happiness, your success. This isn't about being selfish, it's about being wise. When you protect your energy, you stop letting others dictate your emotional state, your time, your focus. You reclaim your power. And in doing so, you open up space to build the life you've always dreamed of.
Friends, I think that was so perfectly well said.
Yeah.
What you think, Vincent?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Mel Robbins. I actually read one of her books. It's called the Let Them Theory, and it really opened up my eyes on pretty much a lot of stuff that she was saying. A lot of our focus is on things that we can't control, right? Worrying about stuff. People's not getting back with us is affecting us and making us do certain things, and just the explanations of that. But I'm a big energy person. I don't like negativity, and if I see, or I don't surround myself around it, like I exclude myself from it, right? It's just I don't have time for it, right? Even when it's out of my control, again, I just distance myself, right? Sometimes that may be a family member. Sometimes that may be a friend. Sometimes that may be a coworker, right? It's just sometimes we have to understand, on top of the art of saying no, we got to understand what we will or won't surround ourselves with. That in itself is a prioritization of self-care, right?
That's important.
Because you're not going to drain me and just bleed me dry and just deplete my energy, right? There's a old saying, and I know y'all know this back from your grandmothers and this and that, saying this: misery loves company, right? Not on my watch, though.
Yeah, that's pretty good because like she said, you don't get that back. You don't get that energy back. You just wasting it, man. What's up, Fletcher? What say you?
I used to feed off that negative energy because, what I'm saying, I was, like you say, miserable, unhappy, just mad at the world, what I'm saying? And I wanted to punch something. So it was easy to be around people that's miserable like me so we can punch each other, what I'm saying? So, but like you said, controlling that and getting away from that, man, on that positive energy, that's what I want, man. You really can have it all. We think we can't, man, but you really can have it all. but you got to start doing some things. You got to follow some principles. And like she was saying, also I read that book too, Vince. I'm gonna tell you that. I can't
Okay.
believe it. I read that
Cool.
book.
Cool.
Yeah.
It helped me out realize that my mother used to always tell me, Keith, you want to save the world. I was always trying to fix. I'm a solutionist. I could solve a problem. I could see there, and I would take on something, in my younger days, and it never worked out. Even the feeling like when I did something for somebody, they didn't appreciate it. I felt they didn't appreciate it. I did all that, and that add more to it. You know what I'm saying? So all those things, give somebody something, and they didn't say the right words you wanted them to say. They didn't show the right affection. All these things start bombarding and being distracted and causing stress and causing problems. So, like I said, when I start realizing, like I said, hey, you cannot control what other people do. You have a choice. If I want to give them this, I want to do that, I gave them that, and then I move on. You know what I'm saying? But if I don't want to, I have the same energy on that. I don't have to be around that. I don't want to talk about this. I want to talk about it. And if you can't, I'm sorry. I can't. But again, that takes a lot of time, a lot of practice, a lot of meditation, man, because what you're breaking old wounds, you're breaking old behaviors, you know what I'm saying, old habits. So to get away from those things and understand that it is a better way. You know what I'm saying? It is a different life. You know what I'm saying? But it takes a time to become that. Because, I think I say all the time, I don't think we really understand, really truly know what abundance is. We say we do, I'm abundant, or say we blessed. I don't think we know what that is. I think that's just a word we say, but truly to have abundance, man. And then the Most High say, I'm going to give you more abundance. To truly have that, I really don't think we understand what that is, man. And a lot of that stuff is just changing your character, the way you do things, humbling yourself. A lot of that stuff is internal. You know what I'm saying? It's not a thing, it's internal. And putting the right, like I said, saying out, we hear all the things. Be around the right people. Get you somebody that can cheer you on, lift you up. You know what I'm saying? Be honest with yourself. Take criticism. All these things, those are things that are important to build your character, to build you up, to be a stronger person, to deal with things. And that's filling your cup up. So if I can do the same thing for me, that person should be able to do the same thing for them. You know what I'm saying? But again, my cup should overflow into them. I can't give from an empty cup. And I think a lot of us, we so used to trauma and stress, and we say that's what we're supposed to do. If I ain't got it, you got it. No, that don't work. It don't work like that with me. Because if I got it, I worked for it. I did all the right things. I went to work. I got up early. You want to lay in the bed. You want to do no. That ain't right. How can that be even? You know what I'm saying? How can that? That's a transaction. We trying to transform. So a transformation is the evidence of what education. Like Vince said, he read that book. I read that book. That book helped me to realize that I can't do those things and how to handle those things, how to say no. What's more important? I want to say the one thing that this guy I heard, Anton Daniels, he was talking about value, and he asked the guys on the show, how much you worth an hour? I want to ask, Vince Extraordinaire, what is your how much you think you worth an hour?
There is no price that you can put on me hourly. I mean, I know we say that from a corporate standpoint, and then when we get jobs, right, we have to put something on paper, right? I can't tell hey, I want $500 an hour, right? Because I won't get that job, right? So I have to be realistic with it, right? My time is precious and invaluable, and you really can't monetize it and put a price on it.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Extraordinaire.
That's right. When I retired, a person tried to hire me, and I told the person, "You can't afford me." You remember that, Fletcher?
Yeah.
You can't afford me, and I meant that because, like you said, Vincent, I retired for a reason. I'm much more valuable than what I gave that job. That's not a number of that's not a number out there that can buy me because there's so much inside. And the point is, friend, there's so much inside of you too. We have to learn how to value ourselves. I think Fletcher, you coined this so well when you say living abundantly. We don't know our self-worth. And one of the many reasons why we don't know our self-worth is because we haven't lived around enough people that value themselves. Most of us saw people grinding it out, struggling from day to day, barely making it. So when you start working on yourself, this is why this thing called personal development is personal. And this is why this walk with your creator is a personal experience, because the creator of us all told us from the very beginning our self-worth. But we didn't quite accept that. So we went and created a world of worth. And we said, if you do this, this, and this would be, we would say this is your self-worth. Some lower class, some middle class, some upper class, and some 3% and 1%. And we fell into line, and we bought what the world sold us over what was already written for us. Now, that's a whole nother subject that's kind of deep, but sometimes things are just deep like that. There are no easy answer. There is just the answer.
I want you to y'all answer the question, but I didn't get, but y'all skipped over that question. I'm sorry. But you said there's no number. Both of y'all said that? Did both of y'all say that?
I said there's really no number that you can give from like a monetization standpoint. Yeah.
That can't. You tell me so. So it's no number somebody can give you. I'm saying how much you worth an hour. So if you were to go work for yourself, how much you worth an hour?
Well, no, I don't know if you heard me when I first said it. I said now when I'm filling out an application or something, or when I'm looking for a job, I have to put a number down, right? But I can't put $500 an hour because they're going to look at the application and be like, okay, let's move on to the next, right? So I understand the politics.
Do you think you really worth $500 an hour? You think you bring that much value?
More than that. Yep, I do.
Explain that to me. I'm sorry, Jordan, but I'm saying how? So $500 an hour. Hold on.
So when a lawyer charges $500 an hour, it's okay for the lawyer to charge that, right? But then we can't put that.
I'm not saying you can't. I want you to explain that to me. If you can say it, I mean, I want to hire you. You tell me you work $500 an hour. You will be able to explain that to me. Why you work $500? That's what I'm saying. You pick that number, because that's let me see. Hold on, 500. And I'm not just saying that's a big number, Tom. That's like $4 million a year. It's like
there's what they call a fair market value, and
you do that by every hour.
There's like a fair market value, and there's what they say market worth is for like that position that you have. So, I can't go in there saying that I want $500 an hour for the position because I'm giving from a market value of what surveys and with studies and analytics and things say this is what your role is worth. I may feel differently, right?
What about a year? Let's say a year.
But let me ask you, Fletcher, in your scenario.
What do you mean?
So if they say how much are you worth an hour doing the
What
thing?
Do you mean, Keith? Doing the what? Can you hear me?
I'm listening. Extraordinaire is talking. You hear Extraordinaire?
I want to ask.
He froze. His screen is froze.
No, he's talking. I can hear him talking.
You can?
I can't hear him. I can hear you. I can see his picture is frozen.
Oh, wow.
On mine.
Can you hear me?
I can hear both of y'all.
Okay.
Yeah,
can y'all hear me? This one I'm in. Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you.
I want to finish.
I'm gonna use me for example, right?
Okay.
So it's my value. I remember somebody told me for them to go back to work, they would have to pay them $500,000 a year. In my mind, I could not recognize that because I'm a worker. I've always worked in my life. You know what I'm saying? And the guy that said it, you look at him, I'm like, how could he in his mind say that? What? So in my mind, I had to break it down. I'm like, I had so I realized it's 8,760 hours in a year. So I'm divided that by 5. So for me, that means I got to be I'm worth $57 an hour. That's my value. 57 to make $500 to be worth every hour, $57 an hour for a year to make. Say I'm worth $500,000 a year. I think now me and my work ethic, my skills, I believe I am worth 500. So now I'm saying, okay, how can I re-enter that? How can I make that amount of money every hour, every day for a whole year?
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm trying to say, okay, I get this, I get paid. And now I'll say right now I make 100 and something, just say 1,000. So I'm short. So I mean, I got to be working. I don't want to work. I got a kid. I mean, something got to be working for me while I sleep. So I got to I got to have a business. I got to have an investment. So now I'm in the stock market. I'm putting money in the stock market. I'm calculating that money come. Okay, now I got a business. I'm making money from my business while I'm sleeping. Somebody's moving into the bed. I got real estate. So I started doing this thing. That was my vision right there when it started for me, what I needed to make me feel comfortable. So when you say that, I hear people say that we got to know where we want to be and where we want to go. So when you said, I tell my kids that when you say you want to make something and your value, so what you need to have value. So that means to get that type of money, I'm going to have to work a different kind of way, or I'm going to have to go get some skills. So for me to make 500,000, I don't have enough skills to make that type of money. Not to work. So if I don't have the skills because I'm blind. Now that I'm blind, so that cut my hours down even more. I got to find a different way. I got to find some different vehicles to have me work for me. I'm going to have to start a business, give me some employees. I'm going to start doing different ways. I'm going to have to learn how to do business. I'm going to have to get some I'm going to get some dividends. I'm going to have to get some stock. You see what I'm saying? I have to do some crypto. I got to do different ways because I can't work to make that. How do I get that? Do I just give up? No, that's what I do. So when I say that, just like it says somebody say you worth $100,000 a year. That's like $11.47 an hour. So what I'm saying is when I'm telling you this, so now we go your value, your time. So I don't have time. If I'm sitting, I'm saying I'm trying to get $57. My time is valuable. That's what I'm trying to say. My time is valued to the penny. I know what I'm worth and what I value to do, what I need to do. So I don't have time to go argue. I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to play around and talk about less value there. I'm trying to educate myself. I'm trying to build that business. I'm trying to be around the right people. I'm trying to make the right connections. I'm trying to grow something. So that's what I mean about value and time and money right there. That's what I was explaining. But go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, I hear you. Sure, now you there?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, Trey.
Or because I know I hit refresh.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. We
so
see you now. Yeah.
Be sure you're back. Yeah. Well, no, Keith, I hear you. You. But I did want to go back.
I did that. I had to do that for me. I had to find an answer to that because, like you say, people say, well, I want $1 million. What is it going to take for me to make it? If you want $1 million, okay, this is what it's going to take for you to make $1 million in a year. I want to make. So we say these things. I want to make $10,000 a year. I want to make $20,000 a year. You know what I'm saying? I'm very, very intentional. So I need to find out what I'm doing so I can help my kids. They say they want to make this. Oh, let me tell you what you got to do. You think you about to go in there and play around and play video games and not go to school? No, you got to do this to get that. Or you got to do this. You got to get this type of vehicle to do that. That's what I'm saying. What are you willing to do? Like I said, extraordinary. You got journals. You got your website. You got things going. You know what I'm saying? So what if even if somebody say you start a business, somebody say, I want to come buy your business from you. What's your value? What's the number for you? These are things that we need to know. Like I said, goal driven. I'm a goal driven person because before I wasn't. These are things that you need to know ahead of time. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was saying, that's what I mean. I was going back to why should I have that's why your time is important right there.
That's why.
Somebody, yeah.
Right. That's well
if I can step back, I did want to go back and wanted to say back with the art of saying no when it comes to taking care of ourselves. One thing that I had to again, saying no at home was different from saying no at work, right? Because you have to partnership with other departments, other people. So saying no at work isn't as easy. one thing I have to understand too is sometimes I overextend myself. And when I didn't
Mm,
say no, when I took those tasks on or when I help people out, then when I'm in it, I'm frustrated and
Yeah.
I'm doing either I'm doing sloppy work or I'm getting angry while I'm doing something because I've overextended myself. And what I really should have said was no in the beginning, right? Sometimes we don't want to hurt people's feelings because I know extraordinaire ask the questions like, who do you say no to? Sometimes, it's easy to tell like their family member no, or sometimes we don't want to tell people no because we don't want to disappoint them, right? So again,
yeah.
the art of exercising to say no is for me and my best interest sometimes is to protect me because I don't want to get overextended because I've done that. Uh, one more thing, it was like my peace is important, right? You ever hear, and I know what Keith was talking about as far as the dollar value and things of that nature. You can't put a price on peace. I'll
Mm,
repeat that. You cannot put a price on peace. There's been some positions that individuals have had, some marriages people have been in, some relationships that people have been in, to where it's like, you know what, they just want a fresh start. And it's like, look, I'll leave with nothing just so I can get peace of mind. You can't put a price on peace, right? So again, that's what that self-care is, right? I know people that have stepped out of like wanting to be in a position or like a role or like an NFL player or NBA. You hear people saying, look, when my heart is not in it, I don't need to be out there, right? You look at Derek Carr, right? I know you're a big Saints fan, Keith. He didn't want to take the money, right? If y'all know the history of Derek Carr, he's a faith driven man. He didn't feel right wanting to take millions of dollars because he said he's going to be hurt, he's going to be out a while. While there's other people out there, they wouldn't see an issue or a problem with taking the money, being injured, and just raking it in, right? Sometimes your conscience gets you. Like if your conscience gets you, you can't live at peace. That's mental, right? And you have to be able to live with yourself, sleep at night, look in the mirror. Some of us can do that with no issues, right? Take the money and run, be like, hey, I'm gonna sit back and take it, right? I'm back. I'm late. I'm gonna
Yeah.
shut up and just sit back in the cut.
No, no, no. Man, all of this is just some wonderful stuff. And this is what it's all about, friends, on World Premiere Word on the Streets. When you dive into these topics, you see how they have affected your life one way or the other, or they are affecting your life. This thing about self care, as you all have listened to this show tonight, is more than just taking a bubble bath. Self care is also preserving. I mean, it's a lot of things that we've discussed on this show tonight. You know, preserving your energy is a big one. That's a big one for me. But we have discussed so many parts of this issue, and we still haven't covered it all. So, friends, we do have a blog that we put together that goes into depth in different areas, but the meat of it we have talked about on this show tonight. Fletcher, as always, bring out some very different angles that even researchers forget to bring out. Fletcher, one part in particular I did like that you said that you even went and met people who was angry like you so that you can get your anger out. That was a very good point. That was a very good twist. And I wanted, I say I had to chew on that because that is another good therapy method in other areas of our life that sometimes we can take negative and work negative for good.
Yeah.
And it pretty much make what is already written when it says all things work together for your good. See, we can take something bad and use it in your face, and you use it for you instead of always having what seemingly bad be against you. And I thought that was a powerful statement. I pinched on it, and I'm glad I remember to bring it back. So yeah, that was good.
I'm glad you understood it. You know what I'm
Like
saying?
that.
But some people would say that it was crazy. I sometimes I would when I say something I don't I don't think some people understand it. But you got to grab it. But for real, that I will find myself. I will go to the club and I'm going to the hood. You know what I'm saying? I'm going, and to me it was like an escape. You know what I'm saying? An escape that I can just let my hair down and be that. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's like I was looking at this cartoon. This dude had power, and he was fighting this guy, and he was better than the guy. He found out the guy was a robot. He said, "Now I can let all my power go." You know what I'm saying? I can let everything. I ain't got to hold back no more. So you know what I'm saying? You might sound crazy, but that was for me. Like I just let my hair down to be me. You know what I'm saying? Whatever comes with it, comes with it. But then I get over here and let him in my area. You know what I'm saying? I got to take the pick off my head. I got to I got to put the gown. I got to put my glasses on. It was like that, man. And come back home to the kids, kiss the wife, hug. You know what I'm saying? It had to be that. That's what it was with me.
Hey, Vincent, what
Yes,
what
sir.
thing could you share with the community that would help them take self-care for themselves before we leave, and those or things that you have applied personally in your life, giving yourself self-care, and you think if they try, it'll help them as well.
Hmm. You got to be honest with yourself. You know, you have to be honest with yourself and understand that you only get one life, right? A lot of us get do-overs, and a lot of us don't, right? Life is short, and it's not to be taken for granted. I know what I had to do is I just had to, but again, my situation was different, right? It's hard to give what you don't have. It's hard to give what you didn't get an example of, right? You hear that term self-made and things of that nature. Uh, for me, it just, I just took the time just to just kind of watch, observe, understand, learn on the fly, failed a couple of times, but like we said earlier, I said 70-30. Keith had to correct me, said 80-20. Uh, so, you got to prioritize yourself at some point in life, but I understand it's a juggling of priorities, right? You have to make a priority list and say which one is most important. Is this a fire? Is this an inferno? Is this just a spark? Right? You have to prioritize those things. So for me, just what's worked for me is sometimes journaling, looking back what I've written from years ago, and seeing what have I improved on, right? But you got to make time for yourself. You have to make time for yourself.
Yeah, that is the thing that Fletcher, I definitely need. I said I need you to really nail that out as
Right.
we end this show, because you communicate that, I think, so well about you have to demand. Fletcher and I friends. We talk on the phone. One thing he really pull in, and he talking like from the depths of his soul when he say, man, you have to take your time. You have to demand. I mean, he's almost like he's grunting at how serious that is, that you have to really make it, take it, and own it.
Mhm.
You want to talk about that, Fletcher?
Well, I would use the analogy like, if you've been in a cage, an animal's been locked up in a cage, and back in the corner, you can't get out. You're gonna fight. You know what I'm saying? Fight to get out. You know what I'm saying? Out that corner. So that's how you got to be, man. You got to demand your time, demand that from anybody, man. Nobody should have to hold you to that. I don't care about no job. I don't care about no. I don't work. I don't work two jobs in my life. I don't work two jobs that I made great money, but it never made a difference. What made a difference was my time. What made a difference was when I had that time, I had clarity. When I had that time, I could think. You know what I'm saying? I could be all in my head to myself. I don't care if I went and got a massage. I don't give if I walked the neighborhood. I don't give if I went to the park, went to the gym. That's my time. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, it makes a difference in your life. I'm telling you, it eases things. Like I said, and I don't want to make it all spiritual, but that's that time that everything is get quiet, and that's when you hear that voice. That's when you hear that voice and you start understanding. And when that voice start hitting, you start opening up things, opening up doors in you. But you be so distracted with things. But it take, like I said again, it take time to get there. But to have that time to get to that point. So for me, that's it, man. It's just it's so important to it changed my life because I got married young. I knew chaos. All I knew was chaos. All I knew was it was always putting out fires. I'm telling you, you get so used to it. It's become normal. And I remember seeing somebody else, and you would actually think, man, they not happy like that. They ain't got no living like that. That's how. So when I see people and I'm seeing them trapped in that cage, backed in the corner, and I'm telling them, you don't have to live like that, man. You need them. It's a must you have those 2 hours. It's a must you have that time to clarify yourself, to get yourself to that point, to get understanding. Any means necessary to get that. You deserve that. Out of 24 hours, all you're asking for is 2. That's it. Why not? That's what
Y'all heard it? I think you mean it's non-negotiable. I think you're saying it's non-negotiable.
I'm just saying, in my household, everybody know that, man. I'm fine, and the Vince know, y'all know. I would walk out the door. I'm telling you, I'm gonna walk out the door. They got what the thing they put on you now for to know where your location at. And I told them I'm not putting that on me, man. You're not about to have me on no leash like that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like a dog, man. But anyway, I'm leaving, and I'm not. Somebody might say it's crazy, but I gotta go. I just get out and start walking. I deserve 2 hours to myself, man. And whatever that may be, whatever I decide to do, I know the rules about it. I'm a grown man. You're a grown one. We know, you know what I'm saying? But again, that's come with division. That come with other things too. But man, 2 hours, you can't give me, and I gotta, check in and all that. No, man, I'm not living like that. And that's when it comes to that peace, like Vince was saying. That's when you have that peace. That's and like I said, it takes time to get to that. It takes time to have your spouse, have your kids to understand it ain't just about them. You deserve peace, and you deserve your time too.
Hey everybody.
Hey guys, I'm gonna have to cut it short, y'all, because I had to be out here at 8:30.
I'm about to end it up right here, Vincent.
All right.
Thank you all for tuning in tonight, friends. We will be back next Thursday. Make sure y'all tune in and be here, be with us. This is the world premiere Word on the Streets.
Thank y'all, man.
Thank y'all. Y'all be blessed.
And that wraps up another powerful episode of world premiere Word on the Streets. We're live every Thursday evening at 7:30 Central Standard Time, and we'd love to have you join us again. So take a moment to subscribe, tap that like button, and become part of this growing community. Until next time, guard your thoughts, speak only what you truly want to experience, and stay laser focused on what matters. Your words shape your world, and your mindset fuels your mission. We'll see you again, same time, same place, right here on World Premiere Word on the Streets, where truth meets transformation. Stay strong, stay grounded, and as always, stay true.